Hello and welcome back to the Weirdly Obsessed podcast with Mandy Martino and Lisa Wallen. We're both stand-up comedians and in LA, baby.
LA, baby. This is a podcast where we talk about weird obsessions, weird niche hyperfixations you find on the internet, your passions and interests and addictions, because we have problems.
This week's uncommon interest topic is the first of our beauty trend series where we get into skincare. We talk about our personal routines, internet trends, and when obsessions become addictions.
Yes, and if you love today's episode and our previous one, we have plenty of more in the future, and we'd love it if you would just share, listen, whatever on all of the platforms. And also, if you're interested, you can subscribe to our Patreon, where we could also feature one of your future obsessions on an episode and have exclusive content to anyone who subscribes to us. So please enjoy today's episode.
Enjoy!
One Final Podcast is a great name for a podcast because there's never a final podcast.
Yeah, what would you do after the first episode? Oh, what if you just released one episode?
That was it. One final podcast. And then there you go.
So
this is it. And then the world ends when you snap your fingers at the end. There you go. No more podcasts.
Wow.
Imagine a world without podcasts. What would white men do? You know, like
whatever else they wanted to do.
They'd be like, I don't know what to do with my life. I have so many things to talk about on a microphone about women, and I just have no one here to listen to it. Great way to start this episode.
I think that's what they would just do at each first date. There's never a second date for those kinds of people. It's just always the first date.
I always think it's funny, too, that when I talk about, like, I've mentioned to people that I'm starting a podcast, and they're like, ugh, of course you are. I'm like,
what?
For one thing, I take it as a compliment because it's telling me, of course you are, because you're so fun to talk to and you're so personable and I think you're just lovely. I never look at it as an insult, but it's always from a guy. I'm like, what do you think we're talking about? Like beer and fantasy football? We probably will.
Yeah,
That'll be an episode sometime.
We can totally get into that. I'm just proud of us for doing something original. I think ours is pretty original.
It is. And you know what it is? It's the weirdly obsessed. Yep. It was... that was gonna be me. I was gonna do an SNL segue, but it didn't work out because
Take two.
There we go. No. We're keeping that.
Okay. No, I mean don't cut it, but like a live take two.
A live take two. Speaking of podcasts, what are we called? Are we called the Weirdly Obsessed Podcast?
Whoa!
Wow.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 2 of the Weirdly Obsessed Podcast.
I am excited about this episode.
I am too. But before we get into it, we have to introduce ourselves because some people are still new to this.
Yes.
And I'm Lisa Wallen, and this is
Mandy Martino.
And we're both stand-up comedians out of Los Angeles, and one of us has diagnosed OCD and also weirdly fixates on everything that they're into and obsesses over it, which is why we have this awesome obsession podcast. And the other one is yet to be diagnosed, but definitely has some form of obsession.
I've got a lot of tendencies, shall we say.
But our first episode was really cool because we talked about basically the difference between obsessions and passions. But we also talked about social media, which I think is so funny because now every episode from now on is like, oh yeah, social media has definitely made everything worse for everyone and their weird addictions.
Yeah, everything on Reddit and online ends up being
I like how Reddit is separate from online. It's like its own dark web. Everything from Reddit and the real internet.
Yeah, and everyone who's not just telling everybody everything about themselves. Well, I guess that is everything online. But it all tends to lead to, because of social media has made this worse. This is taking selfies on social media, seeing other people on social media, comparing myself to people on social media.
I get that part because it's like I'm very online. That I always say, like, I'm incredibly online all the time. Like that's like my motto for my podcast. If I ever have one just of me, it's just me saying I'm always online. And then it's just my whole day and pictures of my cats. But
I think it would do well.
Yeah, but it's honestly, my life is a podcast. But what's really funny is that like people, like I went on a date with somebody who's like, oh, I don't have social media. Like they always do that. Like
I don't like that.
I just don't like social media. I don't like people who are addicted to it and people who are like obsessed with everything on Instagram and TikTok. And I'm like, wow, it sucks. Because I love all that shit. Like I also have other hobbies, but like don't act like you're so cool because you are a loser. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say about that. It's fine if you don't have social media, but the people who like say it as like an underhanded compliment to themselves.
Yeah, it's like they're patting themselves. Like, I am so cool. I have no friends that I care about seeing what their life is like online.
That's like posting a hashtag no makeup post.
Yeah.
Like instead of just like rocking no makeup, you have to let the world know you're not wearing.
Strong is the new skinny. Oh, we can get into a whole we can get a whole episode about all the dangerous hashtags that are just like, you're just shitting on people for their things. Like I have so my brother-in-law has never had social media.
Really?
He didn't even have MySpace.
Wow, he started from square one, just clean. He's like those people who like I've never had a sip of alcohol in my life,
right? And I'm like, what's your vice? Do you murder people? Like, what gets you off? Like,
yeah, what did he say?
But what's so funny is like, well, like he doesn't do social media at all, but he loves Reddit. Like he goes on Reddit a lot. What's his social media? And my sister like really is just like, this is why our marriage is so healthy, because like my husband does not look at other women online. Like he can't. Like he probably looks at porn maybe, but it's like but like in general it's like social media has like changed people's friendships and relationships. So whenever I meet someone who's like, I'm not online, I'm like, okay, if that's not your entire personality, then we should date, because then you'll never see another woman in your life. Otherwise, don't shit on me because I like to post like my meals sometimes.
Yeah, throw to a classic IG post.
Right? My cats are cute. I need the world to see them. Okay, sorry, your cats are ugly. No, I'm just
kidding. Did post a really cute picture of your cat recently.
Every single day. I can talk about how Lisa's obsessed with her cats would be a great name.
We should do a cat episode.
Today's episode is about cats.
We just switch it all up, but we really should.
Well, there was the thing I was gonna say before I started talking about, my cats, because I will talk about them forever, is that there was one thing that we did leave out last week on our episode, because we talked about how obsessions is so much different than just being interested in something. But what we didn't talk about was how obsessions can also become addictions. Look at her pull up her little Google.
Let's see. Obsessions.
Definition.
Well, what would you say? I just don't feel like I can say it correctly.
Well, I feel like, it's weird to think the difference between obsession and addiction, because they kind of do, like, it's kind of like how people say sugar and cocaine do the same effect on your brain.
Got it, yeah.
But they're not the same thing. That's how obsessions and addictions are to me. Because, like, I'm a drug addict. Surprise. Not me drinking my third cup of coffee today at 3 p.m., but it's like I don't obsess over caffeine. I don't obsess over drugs. Like I'm not going online and like trying to find the new drug to get into. I'm not tattooing weed and mushrooms on my body, And so it's like weird where I never even thought until now like what the difference between an obsession and addiction is, except for with my own experience. Like, if you could put it into words?
Yeah. So what it seems like is like, this is the whole cat episode. We're going to do this the whole hour. To me, it feels like an addiction is something you would more get a high off of, like a body thing.
Yeah.
And then an obsession is something you can't stop thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah, because I definitely don't think about drugs 24/7. But I do think about certain anime characters a lot. Yeah, I would say that's probably it has a different effect on your body.
Yeah, and you won't if you can't collect drugs, because if you're addicted to drugs, you'll use them.
That is true. When I thought I was an alcoholic last year, because I just moved here and would not stop drinking. One of my friends who was who's sober and was an alcoholic came over and goes, Lisa, I know, you want to know why you're not an alcoholic? Why? He goes, because that bottle of gin has dust on it.
That's true.
That's how I know you're not an alcoholic. I was like, yeah, but that was just really gross gin. He's like, that's the thing, is that people who are addicted to alcohol, they do not care what it is. And that was kind of like me when I was going through drugs. Like, it was like, I didn't care if I'm like, oh yeah, what does this pill do? do. Like, I'll try it because I was a shitty teenager, and now I just obsessively drink coffee, and that's my drug now. Yeah. But it's like, and then also weed. We can do that another time. But it's just like, but it's like, oh yeah, well, it's because different addicts have different vices, and it's like alcohol was never my vice, so that does make sense to me. But it's right. It's like I don't think my coffee gets dusty ever. Pretty sure I run out of it way faster than I should.
I couldn't agree more with coffee. But what I found interesting is everyone online with skincare kept calling it skincare addictions. And then people were like, is this really an addiction or is it an obsession?
Yeah, well, that's a good segue into today's topic, actually, because Mandy and I kind of bonded over skincare because I started getting really into it like recently, and then I've
been into it. I got acne starting in 9th grade, so I've been dealing with this since 9th grade, and it's so crazy. It still hasn't stopped.
Right? I'm still. There's a reason why you only see this side of my face on camera. So we thought a really good episode for our segment, our second episode, the uncommon interest segment, which we're getting into right now. There we go. Today's uncommon interest topic is we decide because there's so many overlaps of subjects into other subjects. We said, you know what? Beauty trends is a big obsession. It's a big addiction that people have. So we're going to do our first episode of our beauty trend series where we cover skincare.
Yeah. Yeah, because skincare, I feel like, let's start with the base, then we'll move on to the next layer of makeup for the next episode. There's a lot of beauty trends that have really taken over our brains.
Yeah, and I feel like skincare is the thing that trends the most. It's also the thing that I see the most because we talked about on our last episode how people's social media algorithms, like your reels, really show the things that you're like fixated on, and ASMR got really big because teenagers are weird. We're in a sexless generation, but they're like, please eat chips into a microphone.
Yeah, you really need to jack off to the sound of your chips.
I'm gonna jerk off to your noodle slurp. But I got into ASMR, like certain ones, like I didn't care so much about people eating because that gives me like the chills, but I do like, like the cleaning ones, but a lot of them was skincare, and I fucking hate skincare ASMR because this is all they do is they take something and go,
I've never heard of this.
And then they open it and then they like tap it and you can tell the fake sounds. But every time they grab a bottle, oh my God, you got to watch one. They literally do this. So they'll wash their face and then they'll grab something. They go, like, how is tapping on the bottle going to make me want to buy the product?
I feel like this is forced ASMR because I feel like ASMR should be like.
It's very violent.
What?
It's like, why are you abusing your products? But it's like, then of course, I was just watching it because it's like, I hate the tapping sound. But then I was like, what product are they using? And then there you go. The internet deep dives into all the things that I don't need.
All of the things. I get so obsessed watching the skincare videos too. And then I follow this person. And then because I followed them, it'll show me another skincare person. Then I'll follow them. And then you want everything that they post. You just want their
skin.
I know. But then you'll notice, like, a lot of the times, well, skincare is different than makeup, but the makeup people, when their makeup is off, their skin is not good.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Also because they're very violent with their ASMR of their washing of their face. But it also goes back to like what we said on previous episode, that's like this generation now or any generation after is so lucky to be educated in all of this, because you mentioned that like you started into skincare because you had really bad acne in high school. Let's talk about your trauma. I also had really bad acne. Like I started taking birth control for my acne.
Yeah, so did I.
When I was like 12.
Yeah, I was 15. But you got your boobs and not your boobs. You got your acne.
No, I got my boobs 2 years ago. But
your acne.
The acne and the boobs came in.
Your period. That's what I was going to say. Not your boobs. Your period young.
Yeah.
Right?
Period was when I was like 9. Boobs was when I was 32.
Yeah. Okay.
It's another episode about booty trends or booby trends. Sorry,
booby trends.
But yeah, and then it was after that was Accutane. They were like, you should take Accutane.
Yeah, I remember that. Did you ever do it?
I did for like 2 months, and it permanently fucked up my body on hormones forever.
I would have never taken Accutane.
Yeah,
I was terrified because I tried Proactive, which was like new when I started getting acne, and Also, when you're a teenager, you're not going to keep a good skincare routine. You don't have it in you to come home and wash your face after
I just want to do every drug I find on a table.
I was going to say, after you blackout drunk, my version of drugs. But yeah, it's like, so had it, and I don't even know if I could say proactive worked or didn't, because I never used it correctly.
Well, they also gave you like 10 products and it all smelled like rubbing alcohol.
It did not smell good.
Yeah. There was that TikTok, which I've mentioned to you before this episode, but I have to mention it again because it's so funny. It's this girl being like, bam, being a teenager in the early 2000s was so wild and she pulled up the St. Ives apricot scrub. Do you remember that shit that were like, walnut shells are great for your face? No, it's fucking glass for your face. You're just shedding the protective
so
layers of it. And then you would use like Noxzema or Stridex, and she calls it gasoline. She's like, and you just throw gasoline on your face, because it's true. It's like this shit was horrifying. And then we're like, why am I breaking out? And then we're like, it's burning, it must be working, right?
Oh my God, it's awful. I remember the apricot scrub. It smelled really good though.
Yeah, I wanted to eat it. I was just like, this is probably good on a cupcake,
but not the face.
But we would just tell ourselves, if it's burning, it's working.
Yeah.
And because
I feel it.
Yeah, right? Is that how you feel now?
Yeah.
You just burned off all your skin?
No, I am so cautious now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did proactive, didn't work. Birth control, I think it helped a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I just like kind of like aged out of that acne, that locationed acne, because it's like it starts here, and then when the older you get, it pretty much sags with your face. It just goes to the lower part of your face.
Having this conversation makes me feel like, God, men are so lucky. So lucky. Like, we are both in our 30s and still get teenager acne because our body's like, bitch, have kids. Oh, you don't want to? Well, here's some fucking pimples. No one will fuck you now.
It's true.
And then men are like using a 10-in-1 fucking dishwasher soap
from dick to face.
Yeah.
They clean their balls with it. Their face is hidden that they clean their balls with.
From dick to face would be a great name for a product.
It's a new all-in-one guys soap.
We need to clip that. It's too funny. From dick to face. Yeah. And then they're fine.
Yeah.
Like I'll go on a date with a guy who's like 10 years older than me, and they have no wrinkles. And I'm like, do you use SPF? Like, what's that? And I'm like, fuck off.
I know.
Like,
or an older guy with crow's feet is hot.
Yeah.
An older girl with crow's feet has seen too much.
Yeah, right? It's like, God forbid that we have any sort of aging on our body, but men get like salt and pepper, you know?
Oh, it's hot. Oh, his belly is so cute.
And now the internet thinks being in your 30s is old.
Really?
Yeah, I posted a selfie of me like on my 34th birthday, and everyone's like, there's no way you're 34. You look like you're 22. I'm like, you've never seen a 34-year-old woman in your life. And yes, it does help that I do take care of my skin, but like, fuck you guys, because I look like a 34-year-old woman. Every 34-year-old woman I know looks like this. Like, some have aged worse because when we were kids, everyone was like, hey, what if we went tanning all the time?
Oh, you don't even know. My Florida ass rubbed my skin for probably 10 years in baby oil and laid on my black trampoline. And I was almost like a black skin
You were just
color.
like a hot dog sitting outside roasting.
I looked the color of a hot dog. I'll show you photos. I was so tan, like unattractively tan.
And now all of Gen Z and Gen whatever, they know better.
I know.
We didn't know. I didn't start wearing SPF every day until I was in my 30s.
I just started.
Yeah, and now I'm like putting on 30 times a day. I got to make up for the years that I lost. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and so now it's like, because the internet likes to fixate on everyone's obsessions, because they're like, oh, bitch, I know what you like. You like cleaning videos, you like this. Well, let's go into something else. What about cleaning your face? And then you get into that, and then you start looking at products. And like I guess I would not say I'm addicted to it, because I do think like because there's so many chemicals you're putting on your skin, which, by the way, chemicals are not bad for you. I'm so tired of being like, there's chemical free, bitch. Water is a chemical. Okay. Like, not like they say these words to make you think like it's vegan, it's organic. It's like, not, that doesn't mean anything when it comes to your skin. But like, I don't think I'm addicted to it because I don't crave to do my skin. It's just become part of my routine. But I know people where it's like they obsessively pick out their skin. They're constantly getting procedures. They're constantly like trying new products and then never using them again. And it's like when you try a new product, you got to wait. Like your skin's gonna react, and then you gotta wait to see if no, it didn't work. I gotta get another one. It's like
that's the problem with most people do with skincare, because you're gonna break out, you're gonna purge after, and then they won't get through it.
Yeah, you gotta get through this part of this skincare, you know, and then one day it'll clear up, right, Jesus? You know,
I feel like I go through waves of like being fixated on skincare. I feel like I'm at the healthiest I've ever been with it because.
And your skin is beautiful.
Thank you. I've got a lot of things done to it. That's a lot of people who post about their skincare routine. I'm like, tell us about the lasers you've gotten.
Tell us about the microneedling, the Botox, all the chemical peels. Like,
give us the real shit on top of like the skincare. But yeah, I think like now I'm not fixated on it because I've found something I like. But like before, every month would be like a new product. I had to get rid of so much skincare things because I was like, if I have it here, I'm going to still fuck with it. I just need to stick to what I like is working.
Yeah. Unlike me, who just went to Asia.
And
well, when I first got into skincare, like before now, when I actually knew what I was doing, I was in Korea, and my friend's like, you have to try the Korean skincare. And like, I was like, all right, fine. I bought like a bunch of face masks. And this is when like face masks weren't really like, I guess, mainstream.
Yeah.
Here. This is 2014, actually. This is way before that. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know what these were. And then I was like, I was obsessed with these face masks.
Yeah, they feel so good after.
And of course, like Korean beauty standards and just most of Asian beauty standards. Actually, any beauty standard is in the U.S. is way better than ours because we just pump shit into people's skin. Like, it's fine. It's not approved by any government facility. But you know what? People are buying it because capitalism, baby. But I bought all these face masks and it like transformed my skin. It was so good. And then they brought them here and I bought them and I immediately started breaking out because I was like, oh, now we're getting the St. Ives of skincare masks now. But I just went back to Japan last year and I went with my best friend. Shout out to Sam. She works in the skincare, so she teaches me everything. And she was like, Lisa, we have to buy SPF here in Japan. I was like, why? She was like, because A, it's going to be way better than the shit in the US, which is mind blowing because the sun is the worst thing for your skin. It's both one of the best and the worst things for your skin, but exponentially worse, especially now because of climate change, all that bullshit. Yeah. But we don't sell good products in the US because they haven't really done anything to make it better. But in Asia, they're like, fuck yeah. Most people just put umbrellas on. So their SPF is so cheap because everyone just has like umbrellas to hide from the sun, which is like, oh my God, that's so smart. And I'm from Seattle. We don't even own an umbrella. So I bought, and I showed you this, like I bought all this, like I even gave you one. I gave you like a high SPF like skin thing that was like, this would have been $70 in America. And it's like $4 here.
It's awesome too. I just put it on my hands every time I go out because like that's why most women, which I don't know why women's hands are worse than men, but like
because women, God hates us.
Like our hands will get tons of age spots because not wearing sunscreen on your hands.
You know what I do? I tattoo the shit out of them.
That's so smart.
This is my body dysmorphia. I don't like my leg. Fucking tattoo it. There you go. I never have to look at it again.
Yeah, no age spots under those. You can't see them.
But yeah, and I'm really glad to. I will say this before like we get into the deep bad parts of the skincare thing. I will say I am glad that we've gotten past the weird trends of skincare because I remember like before Reels and TikToks were a thing, it was like here's this avocado egg white mask and we're literally putting like rotting food on our face. Like, why isn't it working?
So bad.
Did you ever try any of those?
No, I know I've tried a lot of weird shit, but I've never done avocado.
I did a coffee scrub.
Oh, I've done a coffee scrub. I did the full body coffee scrub.
Yeah, I did that, which was good for this type of skin, but your face is so sensitive that like I'm rubbing coffee on my face. Oh. And I'm like, why do I have so many blackheads? Or is that coffee beans? I can't tell anymore. I tried that. I did try a honey mask during the pandemic.
I've done a honey mixed with something. I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember. It was traumatizing for my skin. That's all I know.
It's like putting sugar on your face.
Yeah, and I just licked it off. Like I was like, how do I just eat my face now? But I've done like the body scrubs and that, and then I was just remembering like people were like, here's a yogurt mask. I'm like, that's fucking gross. I'm sorry. I'm not putting like perishables on my face. Like, that's just weird to me.
I do have one that worked though. This was crazy. So when my acne started bad again 3 years ago, which was a really good time in my life, my therapist recommended something that I've never heard before, and it worked. So you do 1-to-1 chickpea powder and turmeric, and just mix it with I think it was water, maybe it was apple cider vinegar. I can't remember.
People, don't try this at home.
Definitely do it. Cleared my
Definitely
do it. I think it was just water, but my face completely cleared up.
That's fucking okay. Send me that recipe.
It was mind blowing.
I'll make curry out of it.
Yeah. But this was the worst part, and why I haven't done it since living in this apartment.
Is that you smelled like turmeric?
Not only did I smell like it, my whole tub in my last apartment was orange.
Yellow. Oh Jesus.
Or like yellowish orange.
Oh no.
It stained it fully because turmeric is such a stain.
Yeah, and you're like, well, I just peed in the tub.
Oh
it's
my
fine.
God.
One last pee. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know how someone would actually do it, because like your sink, if you do your sink, then your sink's gonna turn a color. The shower, my old apartment, screw that shower.
You could just put like a plastic bag down and do it in there. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, for like it was a daily wash.
Just
so
do
like,
it over a pot, because I put turmeric in my pots.
I guess that could work.
just
then cook
boil
it
your
after.
face. There you go.
It's a steamer and
there you go.
And a scrub. But that worked.
Also, like spearmint tea, someone told me will help swelling down, and that works too.
Huh.
And so there is things out there that do work, but the thing is that we don't really see that stuff because it's like, I think also a lot of skincare brands look at it and be like, we can't tell them the cheap secrets.
Yeah.
Because there is cheap products that work very well. Like Vaseline is still one of the greatest things ever invented.
The Aztec mask. There's like been the
know what that is.
What? That's been like the number one clay mask on the market for a long, long time. It's like an oldie but goodie.
Oh, now I'll have to check that out. I'm still I'm in the phase of skincare where it's probably going to get bad, but I'm in the part where I'm trying things for the first time. Like I tried microneedling.
That's one of my number one favorite procedures.
Yeah.
Your skin looks so good after, and it got rid of all of my acne scars, but we'll get more into that next.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Okay, well, good transition to the addiction part of this obsession. Because we talked about like chemical addictions, which is it's big. And I also think like when you get to like part of my OCD is that I'm very structured, which I don't think I've really talked about this, but like I have to have like a routine, a schedule. I'm like a cat. And the minute it gets deviated, I get really mad and scratch. No, I
get pissed when I go off my schedule. Because when I go off I have my written plan. I have to-do lists, 3 to-do lists a day for the same day, just different things. And when I go off of it, my whole day is fucked because it was written for enough for that day.
Yeah, if I don't stick to the routine, it just falls apart. Like I got a tattoo. I thought it was gonna be 1 day. It was 2 days. I couldn't stream that night. Like my whole... it's part of like I didn't have a lot of structure as a kid, so I crave it now. And so having a skincare routine has really like been good for me because as long as I have a healthy routine, I'll stick to it.
Yeah.
Like I stopped biting my nails, which was like a big thing about my OCD, and I had to like make up for it with something else. So I started getting more like fidgety things. I started doing things with my hands to kind of get rid of that fixation. And now it's like I don't even think about it. I did get addicted to gum for a bit because of that, but it's like, but as long as I can have like a healthy thing in my routine, I can stick to it. So it's like I think as long as I stick to what I do now, it will never turn into addiction.
Yeah,
because like I have struggled with addiction a lot when I was younger, before I was diagnosed, and knew how to write things down and knew how to have a structure, because I was always trying to find ways to feel comfortable and trying to like ease my anxiety. And I was like, what if I take painkillers? And now I just obsessively drink coffee and never stop shaking my legs. But like, I think because I know how I work and my brain works, I will never get to a point where I'm really addicted to like skincare and whatnot. But I do love trying new shit. Yeah. So like the microneedling, absolutely amazing. obviously I love getting Botox, and honestly, like I don't know if Botox is really used for skincare as much as it is to preventing wrinkles, but I feel like every time I get it done, my skin is amazing.
Yeah.
And it could just be like a placebo effect of them being like, yeah, because you just spent so much money to inject foreign toxins into your skin so that when you smile, you can't move your forehead. And then like same thing when someone's like, oh, have you tried this new ingredient, this new product? I'll try it. And you know, I'll give it like a month or two. And if I'm like, it's not really working, I'll go back to the thing. I'll still keep it with me, but I'll never like get to the point where it's like, I have a friend who's like every other week, she like posts on her story, she's trying this new thing. In my head, I'm like, this cannot be healthy.
Yeah, no. And the amount of money they're spending.
Yeah, how do you have the money for it? Like, that's what I want to know.
That's how, like, I wonder, like, when I have a lot of money, when I do, check out our Patreon, the amount of things I wish I could do. So, like, if anyone is dealing with acne scars, I got to say what helped me. Because that was one of my biggest obsessions, was figuring out how to fix my acne scars. Because every time I looked in the mirror, I hated myself. And so they're called ice pick scars, like all on my cheeks. And if I hit the wrong shadow angle, I'd be like, ah! High school.
That's why she does comedy.
Yeah, it is. It definitely helps. Definitely an aspect of it. So I did 3 sessions of microneedling, the Aerolace laser to get rid of the acne. And then I got the rest of the scars that were left filled with filler.
Yeah, and I can't even tell.
They're coming back a little bit. The filler lasts like a year. But like, oh my God, I never thought I would figure out how to get rid of those scars. I thought that was with me for life.
See, and that's like a good reason why I like seeing this shit online.
Yeah.
Because I would have never known, like I get really bad discoloration. Like I get a lot of deep brown spots on my face. Like if I have a zit, I have to not pop it because it will turn to a permanent brown spot. So I had to use like this different type of acid on my face to get rid of it. I've tried the Trent Noen, which sounds like a country singer every time I say it. And then I also tried microneedling. And it's like, I would have not known about any of this if it wasn't for the internet, like showing me like all, like me just researching. And it's like, God, I fucking wish I had this when I was in high school.
Oh, I wish. That's how I found out about the filler for the scars, because the place I was going for my laser, I followed them on Instagram, a support. And then she posted a before and after of this guy's acne scars. And I was like, oh my God. I thought instantly.
I can be hot again?
I was like, this is so exciting.
Well, but that's the thing is like you had a legitimate reason to get all this done. There are people I know who have flawless skin and they're just going in and getting facials and all this like traumatic procedures done. And in my head, I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, oh, my skin's really bad. I'm like, bitch, no, it's not.
That's like when girls that have perfect lips get their lips done. And I was like, your lips would be my after. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? You don't need it.
Yeah, it's like, I know I shouldn't shit on hot girl privilege or whatever, you know, but it just reminds me of like when like girls that are like exponentially skinny and in good shape are like, oh, I'm so fat right now. I'm like, bitch, compared to what? A praying mantis? Like... But yeah, and then that's when I know. And like sometimes I want to say something because like sometimes, and like I also like one of the people I do know that like posts a lot of skincare is sponsored. Like she gets sponsorships from like Sephora and like all these big brands, and so they're constantly sending her like new product to try, which is also so funny to me because I'd be like, come on, Sephora, shouldn't you know better than to send her all these different products? Because what if she breaks out? A, it's gonna look bad on you, and B, you guys are professionals. You should know that, hey, maybe we shouldn't send her harsh product after harsh product and be like, we're going to pay you to post all this shit. Yeah, like, it's just, to me, I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah, you can't trust the people who get the product sponsored because they, like you said, they physically can't put that on their skin and they know better. So they're going to lie versus taking a chance of breaking out or like just getting all rash.
And we know better.
Because
we have done our deep diving and we've had our bad skin days. And like for me too, it's like the only reason why I buy anything off the internet, like any skincare, because I watch her stupid ASMR video. It is so fun. You're gonna fucking hate it. It's like, it's just, I'm going to do that to everything. I'm like, okay guys, time to stream. Pick up the controller, take out the game. I'm just going to do that every time now.
It's going to work. People are going to like it.
The only thing I do is I look at the video and say, what has the cutest packaging?
That's what was wrong with Proactive. Horrible packaging.
Yeah, ugly ass packaging.
You need the cute packaging.
Which is funny because I love Paula's Choice, but Paula's Choice has like the most basic packaging. But I like it because it gets straight to the point. Because I think a lot of skincare products, especially now, they're not very transparent about what they put in them. It's very much like, this is vitamin C, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but what else is in it? Like, I'm not just drinking vitamin C. You know what I mean? Is this orange juice in a tube I just put on my face? But it's like, they label everything like, this is what it's in, this is what it's for. You go on the back, it tells you the steps, like this is the third step. Because I think the biggest thing about skincare is people have no idea what to do in order.
No clue the order.
Yeah, and I'm like, I think you cleanse and then you use a toner and then you exfoliate, then you use serums and treatments and then you use moisturizer, right? And everyone's like, no. And I'm like, this is because it's a fucking science. And then you find out you can't mix certain ingredients together. And I think that's where a lot of products have fault, is that they'll be like, here's an eye cream. What kind of eye cream is this? Like, I need to know what this does. If it burns, it works. Like, it'll even, there was one I bought where it literally says, you'll feel a burning sensation, but trust me, that's it working. I'm like, that is not how you sell a product.
No.
And I tried it, and guess what? I had fucking rashes underneath, and I was like, because it's supposed to like wake you up. And I was like, no, this is ruining my face.
Is it one of those like caffeine ones? They have like, I've seen that.
It's like a roll thing where it's like, because I get really bad dark circles because I'm 34 years old and have depression.
What? You're 34?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, you look like you're 25. But like, it's supposed to like wake you up and supposed to get rid of the puffiness, and all it did was make me more puffy because I'm like, I'm allergic to this. Like, it's supposed to give you a tingling feeling. Like, remember the tingling?
The lip balm?
Yeah.
Spiders?
I was thinking not that, and also the the tanning lotion you get in salons.
Oh.
You know, back in the day when we used to burn our skin to
I
crisp.
went to tanning salons as well. Oops.
We all did. I mean, you're from Florida. You did far
Shouldn't
worse.
have needed it. But
Your first kiss was probably an alligator, I'm assuming. Or is it crocodiles? What do you guys have there?
He liked to be called a crocodile.
He was a crocodile.
He was a crocodile.
Definitely an alligator.
But they're alligators.
On the inside.
Yeah.
He was.
It's hot.
Very scaly. No, but I remember like they had the tingling. Yeah. And then I was going to say also the lip gloss.
The snake venom. Snake venom.
Yeah. And it was just like your lips were like.
I mean, if something is called snake venom, that's not a good sign.
But I was like, ooh, that's spicy like me. But I was like,
I loved
15.
it too.
I was like, I am so spicy and sexy.
It
And I
was
like,
so thick. The gloss was so thick.
and they still have Victoria's Secret.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and I was like, I want to have big, sexy, pumped lips.
Oh, yeah.
We were such fucked little teenagers.
What were we doing?
Yeah, we were just trying so hard to be hot. And I was like, we were 15.
God,
Ew,
my little
ugh.
boobs in a push-up bra. What was I thinking?
No, my little 30-year-old boobs. They're just so glad I upgraded those.
So I this is my routine now, which you've gotten off of it, I think. But this is what I'm doing for a year, and to see what happens. I'm just using tretinoin, lotion, and sunscreen, and it's just trust it.
You are washing your face too, right?
Oh, forgot the order. I wash my face,
I smoke a cigarette, and
then I put the cigarette on my face. Yeah, I wash my face.
I use like 30 different serums, and I just rotate between them, and they seem to work. And then I get there's like only one part of my face that breaks out now, which is crazy because I used to have really extremely dry skin, and I was terrified about moving here because of how dry my skin is. Like, it gets violently dry, patchy, like, and my skin is now completely transformed because I started using all sorts of garbage. Niacinamide really helps me.
Oh, you gave that to me.
Yeah.
I have to try that. I will add some things in.
It's honestly, it gives me a nice little glow, you know. And then I started obviously using SPF on my face, which helps a lot too. But honestly, like really basic washes, like I said, the cheap products literally go along with Cetaphil, like the basic daily cleanser. That shit is still magic to me.
Yeah, I use CeraVe. It's like the same thing.
Or CeraVe, yeah, not Cetaphil.
No, that's the other one. They're like the same.
They're the same thing, whatever. And I also like, but yeah, it's like the minute I started, it took a while for me to get through it. I also use obviously the Paula's Choice BHA exfoliant. It's the best thing on the market, everyone, not to sell the product. But yeah, it's like we had to go through so much trial and error for like 20 years to figure out what really works for us. And so now I'm at the point where it's like, I think I'm past the age where this stuff can really affect me mentally and I get really addicted and obsessed with it. But like, I do get concerned for people that are like, the people on my stories are like trying a new thing. I'm like, how do you just have $500 every month to just spend on skincare?
Yeah, which is perfect for our next segment, Trending with a Twist, where I deep dived on Reddit and found just everyone's skin obsessions and things that they said really stood out to me, which one of them was the amount of money you spend on skincare. Which if you just heard us rant for the last 40 minutes, you clearly could hear how many things we've bought and tried, and there's been...
We have some money.
Enough money to buy shit on Amazon every day.
I haven't eaten in 3 months, but I do buy microneedling.
You have to prioritize. But still, please sign up for our Patreon. So this is... I'm going to read some of the Reddit stories for today's episode.
Before she gets into that, I do want to say one thing, that one of my favorite things about having friends in different like interest environments, because it's like you'll see my stories and you'll see something that's anime and you're like, I don't get it, but I love Lisa, whatever. My favorite thing is I have so many friends that are into skincare, and like my friend who's like works in it is obsessed with it. She'll post a skincare meme she found on Reddit in her stories, and it's so... To me, it's so funny because like no one gives a fuck about what this is. When they use triazoic acid instead of tretinoin, I was like, where did you find this meme? And she's probably just like, haha, that's so funny. And everyone's looking at it like, I don't know what any of these words mean. And I was like, this is how people feel like when I talk about like Snake from Metal Gear Solid. You're like, I don't know who this man is, but we love you, Lisa. But anyway, sorry.
It's so true. I have a friend who does sound, and he'll post memes that are like that, like when the DP doesn't like the AD. And you're like, this is so specific to you and your community. But
I really do block out some of the things I find online because it'd be like, Lisa needs to go to therapy. So I keep it pretty basic and common on the internet.
I try as well, but these people didn't. It is also interesting how people just they write a lot on Reddit.
They have nowhere else to go. No one else understands their pain.
No.
They're looking at their stories on Instagram and not replying.
No views. So this was about product obsession as a result of mental health issues. And then it says, has anyone else besides me had a moment of realization that skincare obsession was a result of a transference of other unhealthy habits as a mean of self-care? Don't get me wrong, I have now registered the importance of sunscreen and I'm aware of how to handle my acne issues, both of which help my skin and self-esteem. I'm more referring to when things get out of control beyond once major issues have been resolved. Bleeding out paychecks in the name of impulse buys of drunk elephant serums every other week.
So this is my friend.
So she wrote that, and then people just wrote in a lot. This one person said, I'll start by saying, as a soon-to-be esthetician, skincare is quite literally my life. It'll be what I'll soon be doing full-time as a career, and although it is my passion last episode, it isn't something that dictates my normal everyday life and activities. It's an added passion/interest that I have in my life. There's absolutely no line between self-care and interest and obsession. I've seen plenty of posts over the years where people have sacrificed normal everyday activities for the sake of skincare. I've been reading things like people refusing to take a walk, going to the beach, hanging out with friends and family.
I mean, that's me on a daily basis. So.
Just next time, blame it on your skincare.
Yeah, it's because I had one zit. Sorry.
And even working in front of a sunny wall. No, I'm not joking. There was a small thread a couple days ago. All for the sake of skincare. Things like, how do I get rid of these wrinkles? And it'll be a picture of someone's eye when they smile or forehead when they perform a facial expression. Don't get me wrong, I'm not judging, but I believe it's more than just skincare. A lot of people browse this subreddit seem to have unhealthy fear of aging and obsessive paranoia to anything that may harm their skin. And then this is what she talks about, like the one girl that she was referring to. I recall one post where a girl was talking about her fear of the sun because of how UVA ages you. She went into...
Or she's just introverted.
Maybe.
You know, maybe just stays inside. I'm
She
just
just
gonna say
blames
I'm
it on the
scared of
skin.
sun.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to go because all the damage on her skin is suffering. So like this girl won't go outside because of her skincare. And I do think there is a point where an interest in skincare can spill into a mental health issue, especially if it's impeding your ability to enjoy life. And
Oh,
then-
absolutely. I mean, the funny thing about the not going outside thing is that your body does need sun. Your skin does need sun.
Yeah.
It's long exposure. Like, it's like 1 cup of coffee is good, but not 7, Lisa. Like, it's like you do need sun. And I get that because I obsess over my health. Like, I'm so in tune with my body and what I eat. And I feel like shit if I don't wash my face. Mainly, I just keep myself from hooking up with people. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I have to go home and wash my face. Like, that is my threshold of being like, this is more important than sleeping in your bed. No, I completely get that, but I do know people that won't like streaming and stuff. I have friends that like play video games. So I'm like, you should stream sometime. You'd be so good at it. And they're like, well, no, because I don't want people seeing my face. Which I get that on like a personal level, but more because it's like, well, what if I have a zit? Like, I don't want people to see my face. Like, what if it's like, I stream with makeup all the time. I do hate it. Sometimes I have never skipped stream because of it. I'll just be like, oh, sorry, my face is breaking out. My stream's so sweet. They're like, we don't give a fuck. They're so sweet. They're like, fuck you. We don't care. I'm like, oh, you guys are so sweet. Just play the fucking game. No one's even looking at
like,
you, you dumb bitch. And it's like, and it's frustrating because we both have jobs that require us to show our faces.
Yeah.
Like there's no work around that. And it always fascinates me for people who are like this, where it's like, I don't even want to go outside, blah, blah. And it's like, what do you do for work? And then, like when I worked midnights in a grocery store, I did not care about what I looked because nobody saw me. But like, that was it. But then every other day, it's like, I just show up to work and was like, fuck, like I need to like, I have to show my face and it sucks. Like I'll show up to work with acne. I don't give a fuck. I hated it. But it's like I'm stocking milk at a grocery store. It doesn't matter. Like I want to know, what do these people do for work where they don't have to show their face?
I guess just remote jobs, maybe.
Probably. Yeah. I think being a remote worker really fucked me up because I did not want to go outside forever. I moved here to go outside. And now I'm outside all the time and I'm going to age very fast because of it.
Well, was it you that told me that Seattle has the most skincare out of any other place?
No, skin cancer.
Skin cancer.
Yeah, because we have really harsh UV rays. I don't know if it is now, but that was like the big thing that they sold to us because on top of it, like when we have sun, it's very harsh. It's because it rains so much, the sun reflects off everything. Like I didn't realize how bad it was until I went home this last month, because I moved here and I'm like, oh my God, it's so hot out, blah, blah, blah. But like you go to the sun in Seattle, like burns you. And it's like, it's reflecting off the ground. And it's like, I don't know what it is. I think it has to do with precipitation. I'm not the weather girl. I don't know. But that was the big thing, is that Seattle had the highest cases for skin cancer because no one was wearing SPF because they didn't think they needed to.
Yeah, most people don't. Like my parents have always said, because in Florida, when it's overcast, you get the most sun.
Yep.
I still don't believe the most sun, but I do believe a lot of sun.
I think it's because you're not feeling the heat. So you're not worried about being exposed, but like getting the point where you're afraid to leave outside, isn't that that's a phobia?
Yeah, there's a lot of levels.
Agoraphobia.
Is that the fear of going outside?
Is it? I'm gonna be like, Lisa, that's a fear of hentai. I'm like, I don't know. I think it is agoraphobia because there's the fear of going outside, and honestly, it could be more of that than the actual skincare thing, because it could be like, oh, this is my excuse for not wanting. Here it is. Okay, agoraphobia. Fear of places and situations might cause panic, helplessness, or embarrassed. Okay, maybe that's not it. But
look up what fear of going outside is.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Fear of going outside. It actually is agoraphobia.
Okay.
Never mind. Is afraid to leave environments they know are considered to be safe. In severe cases, they won't leave their home, and their home is their only safe environment. So yeah, it could be just like a form of agoraphobia. But honestly, like when you had like your big breakouts and had like your acne scars, did you ever feel that way? Like you didn't even want to leave the house?
Oh, right now, if I get a pimple, I won't want to go anywhere.
But do you think it's like bad enough to talk about on Reddit? Or is it just like, I
No.
think that's just a normal thing where people are like, I feel gross today and I want to leave the house.
I think it's normal. So I think that person has something else. And a lot of there's layers to the skincare stuff because then it's the shopping addiction, which is a whole
There's layers to your skin.
There's layers to your epidermis.
You're like an onion.
There was one more thing someone said that I want to read that was more about like the obsession and addiction difference.
I think too, like addiction has to fall into other things, like the alcohol thing. It's like on top of your gin being dusty, like are you spending all your time on alcohol?
Yeah.
Are your plans getting affected because of alcohol?
Are you upset when you're not on alcohol?
Yeah, like are you
on alcohol?
Yeah, that's how you know. I do alcohol sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
I on alcohol on Saturdays.
I think addictions go so much more than just like a physical fixation on something. Like it has to affect other points in your life.
Yeah, this was crazy. So the Reddit group skincare addicts or skincare addiction had 2.6 million followers.
Oh yeah,
that's insane amount of people.
2.6 million people haven't seen the sun.
Okay, this is the last Reddit thing I wanted to read. It ties to the other one. She said, I agree that obsession versus addiction is an issue at play here. I do think that there is a certain high involved in making progress with your skin. Buying a haul of products or finding a good deal on something, finding information that speaks directly to your skin problems, I think that can become an issue. Skincare has particularly strong siren call. I think because it is both easy and difficult to make progress. So the wins spur on me, less redness, no acne, but stubborn issues keep me obsessively focused. I also think that some skin issues are just really hard to solve and do require a lot of diligent work, which can turn into obsessive interest. Plus the fact that there's always more to improve, that the redness can get even less red, the pigmentation can fade even more, which keeps you caught in this improvement cycle. And that's how I feel, like, especially you're like aging.
It is funny because I feel like so many of the comments are just like, I need you guys to know how educated I am. Before I address your problem.
They do comment back.
I'm gonna be an esthetician. I'm not one yet, but I'm gonna be one.
And then she's like, just so you know, I'm not obsessed. This is
like
not
literally
obsession.
all you have to say is, yeah, I think this is obsession.
Yeah.
Like, get to the point, girl. Like, I don't want to. I think there's a time right now. Okay, but can you answer my question? Yeah. I get that shit on streams. I'll be like, well, how do I beat this boss? Well, for one thing, when you gotta go, just tell me. Just tell me. Just give me one sentence.
I had an old boss that would never just answer the fucking question, to where the fact I stopped asking him questions because I would get a story, not the answer, and I would just be raging on the inside.
I will say, I can imagine skincare Reddit being the most pretentious part, like one of the most pretentious beauty trends thing, because you know it's a bunch of bitches that watch fucking ASMR videos. Like, look, I have fingered a lot of bottles in my life, so I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think people too, they also make up excuses. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, to be fair, like most skincare problems is because of hormonal issues or just because God hates women. But a lot of people, like, I remember they used to say like, oh, it's because you eat like shits because you're pizza face. They used to say that shit all the time.
I know, pizza face. Oh my God.
I have rubbed pizza on my face. It's fine. It's never broken out. But I think it's like this where she's talking about the redness and whatnot. I really think people just try to be like, well, I have a little bit of thing on my face. It's like, no, you don't. Yeah, I do. I got to address it.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's a problem. It's like, look, we all see ourselves differently. We all notice things about ourselves differently. But if it comes to the point where other people are telling you, no, you have a problem, like, no, that dress does look good on you, that's when you know, like, yeah, you should, if it's affecting your paychecks, if it's affecting you going outside, if it's affecting everything outside of you just picking at a zit, then yeah, that's an addiction. And unfortunately, the internet wants to feed into that because they know you're obsessed with it. So what can people do to make sure they don't do that? Just kidding.
I think less products is the answer. Finding a product that works for you, stick with it give it 6 months, give it time to work in your skin to get used to it.
See a dermatologist if you can afford it.
That's a great answer. Although my dermatologist recently told me that if you still break out, just get on Accutane. Like recently.
go to a dermatologist that isn't paid by Accutane. That usually helps a lot too. Honestly, just going into like a nice skincare, like my thing was like going into a nice skincare like facility and talking to the people who work there, because they're very educated and stuff. And yes, they are selling you their own products, but in general, every skincare brand has similar ingredients. This brand has retinol, this brand has retinol, this brand has retinol. But in general, it's like they're going to tell you what these certain chemicals do for your skin. That's the beauty of the internet. But yeah, I think when you get to the point where it's like you're noticing it's affecting your day and you're shopping, it's like that's become an addiction and you need to go to AA meetings for skincare. I don't know if they have those, but
I'm sure.
But yeah, but anyways, like this was honestly... I'm going to go wash my face. No, I'm just kidding.
And then if any males listening, you guys should also wash your face.
Yeah, please. I know you guys have your dick to face or whatever it's called.
Soap.
Honestly, be friends with a hot girl and ask them about skincare. Don't be scared to ask, because there's so many guys like, oh, I don't want to get into it. I don't know what to do. And it's like, it's very basic to get into at first. Like you just know exactly what steps to take. And then if there's something specific that you need to focus on, like, oh, I get discoloration, I have acne scars, blah, blah. Don't be scared to ask like one of your hot friends that has good skin. Like, hey, what can I do? Because honestly, we fucking love that. There's nothing I love more than a man asking me for help. Like, if they like, yes, I'll ask you to fix my fucking tire or whatever. But like, it makes me feel empowered as a woman. Like, I'm glad that I can do to service to you besides suck your dick. Like, you want to know skincare routines? Like, when a man asks me to get a pedicure with him, I'm like,
fun. Let's go.
Let's do it. But yeah, like just ask one of your lady friends, like, hey, what can I put on my face? I get acne, or hey, I'm starting to age. What can I do? Like, honestly, it makes us feel so good.
It's so funny you said that, because on Reddit, this guy posted like a picture of what he has, and he goes, my girlfriend dumped me, but she got me really into skincare. I don't know what I'm doing. Help.
Yeah, I have a friend here who we gave him a whole breakdown of what to do, and every time I go home and like pick up product, he's always like, can you get me more goop? That's like, he's like, I need more goop for my face, and it makes me feel so good. Like, honestly, man, just ask a woman for help. We'll go home and jerk off to it later. Yeah. It's the best thing ever.
Or just wash your face and put on lotion. It's so simple.
Just don't get a 7 dick to face in one, or whatever it's called. That's still so fucking funny. But anyways, thank you everyone for joining us on our second episode.
Yes, thank you so much.
Of Weirdly Obsessed Pod
on beauty trends. Part
episode
1.
Yeah. Just our skin, just the biggest organ in our body.
Yep.
Next we'll talk about our pancreas or some other shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Everyone really wants to know about our pancreas.
We really want to know comedian hot takes on other organs on our body.
Yep. Well, make sure to check out both of our social medias. My other podcast, Misery Loves Mandy. What would you like to plug?
My Twitch, our shows, our Instagrams, TikTok. Just give us love, views, follows, anything. If it's free too, anything helps. You know, we're trying to get by in life. We're trying to buy more tretinoin.
Yeah, we need more lasers, more microneedling.
Yeah, we just need to have our whole face be filled up, and our lips be like this next episode.
That's how you'll know we really made it.
But yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining.
Have a great almost weekend. Bye.